Hey everyone, I'm Jake and welcome to my cannabis video blog. Up today is an update on what's happening in the US with a particular interest on Wednesday's vote in the House. So let's dive right in. Wednesday, big thing happened. The House passed a banking bill that would allow banks to work with cannabis companies where the state has made it legal, either for medicinal or recreational purposes. And the vote was, pretty lopsided. So almost every single Democrat voted for the bill, and almost 50% of Republicans. And that's important to note because this still has to get through the Senate, and the Republicans control the Senate. But there are a couple hurdles at the Senate level, and then there's also a few hurdles within the banks that need to be worked out. So at the Senate level, there's some conflicting views. So the first is some senators would actually like to see the legalization of cannabis for recreational use and medicinal use at a federal level, right? So forgetting just the banking side of things, they actually just want to see cannabis become legal. The other is that some senators would actually like to see criminal justice reform. So there's a lot of people in the criminal justice system who have been arrested for having sold marijuana or cannabis, or having had cannabis in their possession in small amounts, and it was nonviolent crime. They'd actually like to see that expunged. And I know some states are actually taking care of that themselves. So those are some of the conflicting viewpoints. If they can get past those and agree, especially on it's got to be bipartisan, then it's got a good chance of passing through. There's a lot of pressure from the ABA, which is the banking association. They're doing a ton of lobbying because, again, I mean, this is good business for the banks. They just don't know how to engage and don't want to be caught up. So there's a few things at the banks that I mentioned. The first is there's going to have to be some additional regulation and reports that need to happen. Those need to be worked out. And I'm sure those will be fluid even if the bill passes. The next is how do you get around anti-money laundering, or AML, right? Because right now, cannabis or marijuana is illegal at the federal level. So there's definitely a few things that need to be worked out, but it's a huge step. It's never gotten this far in Congress, passed through Congress, and needs to go now through the Senate. So there's hope out there that cannabis companies are going to have some relief and actually be able to work with banks, because some of them, they're all cash businesses. And then, that becomes really risky, not only for the company itself and the employees, but actually probably brings higher crime within the counties, the states, the towns where these companies actually are, these dispensaries, because they now cash businesses are prone to more risk and more theft. So hopefully in the next couple months we'll have some news on the Senate, and there'll be a vote in favor of it. I'm in favor of it. I think it's a smart idea. It brings in a lot of revenue for the state, and it just makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah, so it's something we'll stay tuned of. Thanks for listening. Until next time, I'm Jake, and this is my cannabis blog. Hey, I almost forgot to mention, this is my first blog, but why not subscribe now and stay tuned to all the great information that I'm going to provide you. Just hit the subscribe button below. Later.